Recognize Councilwoman Barr in the audience with us. And also our two code compliance officers are here to answer any questions you may have after the presentation, Charles Brown and Jermaine Foster. So thank you both for being here. I'd like to, for my presentation tonight, give you an analysis of the existing nuisance code that we use for code compliance, and then go over with you the proposed International Property Maintenance Code, and give you a sense of what that entails. And I think you'll see through the presentation that there's a great deal more detail in the Property Maintenance Code. That's one of the reasons that we strongly are proposing it, because of the fact that it will allow our code compliance officers more latitude in terms of working with homeowners in terms of what citations are, the different types of citations that they can address through the Property Maintenance Code, and also when we work with the municipal court, we're able to give a much more detailed list of violations. So with that, let me start. And that the existing nuisance code, which is Chapter 38, Article 2 of the Statesboro Code of Ordinances, allows code compliance officers to investigate conditions on any private residential or commercial property to determine whether the structures are not in compliance with applicable codes, and to determine if they are an endangerment to the public health or safety as a result of sanitary or unsafe conditions. Now, specifically, the code violations that are subject to abatement include the following: defects that increase the hazards of fire, accidents, or other calamities, lack of adequate ventilation, light, and sanitary facilities, dilapidation and disrepair of structures, sanitation and general uncleanliness, including improper keeping of animals and pets, accumulation of trash, junk, stagnant water, and vacant, unsecured dwellings in which drug crimes have been committed. Now that list in that code does not provide significant detail on which to base code violations. There is a lack of specificity which limits the degree to which a case can be made to the court, nor does it give adequate guidance to the violator for remediation. So it is our intent to put in place, in place of the nuisance code, the proposed International Property Maintenance Code, and which will provide greater specificity since it delineates detailed criteria for property maintenance. It will be less subjective than the current nuisance code, which provides minimum guidance to the code compliance officers. This code has been accepted by the Georgia Department of Community Affairs for local adoption and does not replace the existing building code. This is in addition to the building code. Upon acceptance of this code, it will be incumbent on the city to notify Department of Community Affairs of our action. Now, this code is used in other cities, and you can see the list there. For instance, the City of Augusta adopted it in 2007, Garden City in 2018, then the City of Smyrna, City of Smellville, City of Valdosta, Johns Creek, Hapeville, Macomb County. Other municipalities within the state do utilize this code, but it has not been made a formal adoption of the code. And examples include Richmond Hill and Tybee Island. So they're using it for guidance, but they haven't officially brought it into their city code. Now, I'm going to use the table of contents to illustrate the specificity within this proposed code, and use the following chapters with selected sections and subsections to show as examples. So we've got Chapter 1, which is administration and enforcement, and then Chapter 2, definitions, and then Chapter 3, under general requirements, taking section 301, which is general, and then section 302, which is exterior property areas. I'm going to sort of take you into subsections just on that one section called exterior property area, just so you get a sense of the specificity that is in this code that can be used by our code compliance officers when they are looking at property violations. So under section 302, exterior property areas, we have a subsection on sanitation, one on grading and drainage, one on sidewalks and driveways, one on weeds, and to get even more specific on weeds, for example, the code says premises and exterior properties shall be maintained free of weeds or plant growth in excess of 18 inches. Noxious weeds shall be prohibited. Then we go to section 302, road and harborage. Section 302.6 is exhaust vents. And then it goes on further in section 302 to accessory structures, motor vehicles, and defacement of property. So those are all sections under one main section entitled exterior property area. So you get the sense of the details that are addressed in this code. And then other sections in chapter 3 include a section on swimming pools, spas, and hot tubs, and then exterior structures, interior structures, component serviceability, handrails and guardrails, and then last section, 308, pest elimination. And additionally, there are other chapters that are as detailed with sections and subsections and subsections as I've just enumerated on chapter 3, in terms of chapter 4, which is light ventilation, occupancy limitations. Chapter 5 is plumbing facilities and fixture requirements. Chapter 6 is mechanical and electrical requirements. And chapter 7, fire safety requirements. Now, in conclusion, the International Property Maintenance Code, which is used by many cities in Georgia, will allow our code compliance officers to provide enough detail on pending violations, both to the building owner as well as to the court if necessary, to effectively manage our code enforcement program. Finally, by adopting this code, no changes will have to be made to our current citation process. Now, let me just talk a little about the code compliance effort and why are we looking at this code. We have now 2 full-time code compliance officers, and we need to give them the tools necessary for them to do a better job. And by having the existing nuisance code, which is very subjective and very general, it doesn't allow them to have this specificity that they need to write citations, or also to work with building owners to explain the violations of the code that they will have to repair or maintain. So it's an effort, again, to provide better tools to our code compliance officers. Now, the timeline for the review of this proposed ordinance is that we did go to the City Council with a presentation last month, October 20th. We are, at this point, undertaking public outreach, which we'll be doing from now through January. And that includes public information meetings, press releases, website notifications. This proposed code, by the way, is on the code compliance page on the city's website, as well as on our Facebook page. There's a link as well. We have social media posts, educational videos, and utility bill notifications, the means that we're going to be using to communicate this. The item is scheduled for action on the February 2nd, 2021 City Council agenda. 2021 City Council agenda. So there's plenty of time for input and comment from the public. We encourage that. We want to make this a very workable ordinance that can be utilized not only by our code compliance officers, but also by our community to help them with the maintenance of all of our neighborhoods.